Imagine waking up one night and discovering that the person you trust the most, the person you built your entire life with, is living a completely different life behind your back. Emma thought her husband Daniel was just a normal man, a loving partner, a quiet, hard-working husband who came home every evening with a smile. But one night, at exactly 2:14 a.m., Emma woke up to a strange sound in the house, and what she heard next would destroy everything she believed about her marriage. Her husband was whispering on the phone, speaking a language she had never heard him speak before, and the words he said sent chills down her spine. "The target moves tomorrow. I'll handle it personally." Confused and terrified, Emma searched his office the next day, and what she discovered inside a locked drawer changed her life forever. Multiple passports with different names, secret coded documents, and a loaded gun. The man she loved for 8 years was not who she thought he was. He was a spy. But the real nightmare hadn't even started yet, because the moment Emma confronted him, Daniel revealed something even more terrifying. People were already coming for them, and within minutes, strangers broke into their house, turning their quiet life into a deadly fight for survival. Tonight, you will witness betrayal, shocking secrets, dangerous enemies, and one impossible choice that could change everything. Stay with me until the end, because what Emma decides to do next will leave you completely stunned. Welcome to Heroic Stories Hub, the place where unbelievable true-style stories, shocking secrets, emotional journeys, and powerful life lessons come to life. If you love intense storytelling, dramatic twists, and stories that keep you on the edge of your seat, you are in the right place. Subscribe now and get ready, because today's story might completely change the way you see trust, love, and the people closest to you. The night Emma discovered the truth about her husband began with a sound that did not belong in their quiet home, a sharp, metallic click. Emma's eyes slowly opened in the darkness. Her heart began beating faster without her even knowing why. The digital clock beside the bed glowed softly. 2:14 a.m. She frowned slightly. Daniel was supposed to be asleep beside her, but the other side of the bed was empty. Emma sat up slowly, confusion spreading across her face. The house was unusually quiet. Too quiet. Then she noticed something else, a faint light coming from the living room. Her chest tightened slightly. "Daniel?" she whispered softly into the darkness. No response. Emma pushed the blanket aside and slowly stepped out of bed. The wooden floor felt cold under her feet. She walked carefully toward the bedroom door, trying to make any noise. As she stepped into the hallway, she heard something that made her freeze. Daniel was speaking, but his voice sounded different, low, serious, and the words he spoke were not English. Emma stopped moving completely. She had been married to Daniel for 8 years. 8 years. And she had never once heard him speak another language. Her heart started beating harder. She slowly leaned closer to the hallway wall, trying to listen. Daniel's voice came again from the living room. "Yes, the target will move tomorrow," he said quietly. Emma's stomach twisted instantly. Target? Her fingers slowly pressed against the wall to steady herself. Maybe she misunderstood. Maybe he was watching a movie. But no, Daniel continued speaking. "No mistakes this time," he said firmly. "I'll handle it personally." Emma felt a chill run through her entire body. Handle what? Her breathing became shallow. Slowly, she stepped closer to the corner of the hallway and carefully peeked into the living room. Daniel stood near the window. His back faced her. He held his phone close to his ear, his posture tense and focused. He looked nothing like the man she knew. Usually, Daniel was relaxed, gentle, warm, but right now his shoulders were stiff, his voice was controlled, professional, dangerous. Emma covered her mouth quietly. Who was this man? Daniel nodded slightly while listening to the voice on the phone. Then he spoke again. "I understand," he said calmly. A short pause followed. Then Daniel's voice became colder. "If anything goes wrong, eliminate the threat." Emma felt her heart nearly stop. Eliminate? Her hands began shaking. Suddenly, Daniel ended the call. Emma quickly stepped away from the hallway corner, her heart racing wildly. She rushed back into the bedroom and jumped into bed, pulling the blanket over herself. Her eyes squeezed shut as she pretended to be asleep. Seconds later, she heard Daniel's footsteps approaching the bedroom. Each step felt louder than the last. Her heart pounded like thunder inside her chest. The bedroom door slowly opened. Emma forced herself to breathe slowly. Daniel walked inside quietly. For a moment, he stood beside the bed. Emma could feel his presence even with her eyes closed. She prayed he couldn't hear her heartbeat. Finally, after what felt like forever, Daniel lay down beside her. The mattress shifted slightly. Emma remained perfectly still, but her mind was screaming. What was that conversation? What did he mean by target? And why had she never heard him speak that language before? Sleep never returned that night. Emma stared into the darkness while thousands of terrifying thoughts ran through her mind. Morning arrived slowly. Sunlight slipped through the curtains. Emma walked into the kitchen where Daniel was already preparing coffee. He turned and smiled when he saw her. That same familiar smile. Warm. Normal. "Morning, Em," he said casually. Emma forced a small smile back. "Morning." She sat at the table, studying him carefully. Daniel poured coffee like he always did. He hummed softly. He looked completely normal. Too normal. Emma stirred her coffee slowly. Her mind whispered one terrifying question. Who are you? Daniel sat across from her. You look tired, he said kindly. Emma nodded slightly. I didn't sleep well, she said in an uneasy voice. Daniel frowned. Everything okay? Emma forced another smile. Just a weird dream. Daniel nodded and continued eating breakfast. But Emma kept watching him. Every movement, every expression. Now everything felt suspicious. The way he checked his watch, the way he looked out the window, the way he kept his phone close. After Daniel left for work, Emma sat alone in the quiet house. Her mind replayed the phone conversation again and again. Target, no mistakes, eliminate the threat. Her heart filled with dread. Finally, curiosity became stronger than fear. Emma slowly walked toward Daniel's office. The door stood slightly open. She hesitated for a moment. Then she pushed it open. Daniel rarely allowed anyone in this room, but today she needed answers. Emma stepped inside slowly. The room looked ordinary. Books, a desk, a laptop, family photos. Everything looked normal. But something inside her said the truth was hidden somewhere. She began searching carefully. The desk drawers contained simple things. Pens, documents, nothing unusual. Then she noticed one drawer at the bottom of the desk. Locked. Emma's breath caught in her throat. Why lock a drawer inside his own office? Her hand slowly opened the small key box Daniel kept nearby. Inside were several keys. Emma tested one after another. Click. The drawer unlocked. Her hands trembled as she slowly pulled it open. Inside were several passports. Emma blinked in confusion. She picked one up. Her breath stopped instantly. The passport showed Daniel's photo, but the name was different. Not Daniel Harper, another name. She grabbed another passport. Again, Daniel's photo, another different name. Her hands began shaking violently. "What?" she whispered tremblingly. Beneath the passports, she found something else, a small black gun and strange electronic devices, along with several papers filled with coded writing. Emma stepped back slowly. Her entire world felt like it was collapsing. "My husband," she whispered weakly. Her voice barely came out. "My husband is a spy." Suddenly, the sound of the front door echoed through the house. Emma froze instantly. Daniel was home. Her heart pounded wildly. She quickly shoved everything back into the drawer and slammed it shut. Footsteps entered the house, then moved closer. "Emma?" Daniel called from the hallway. Emma stepped out of the office slowly, her face pale, her hands still shaking. Daniel appeared at the end of the hallway. Their eyes met. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Emma looked at him differently now. The man she loved, the man she trusted, suddenly felt like a complete stranger. And deep inside her heart, Emma realized a terrifying thing. Her life had just changed forever. The tension inside the house that evening felt thick and heavy, like a storm waiting to explode. Emma sat at the dinner table, staring quietly at the plate in front of her. She hadn't taken a single bite. Across from her, Daniel ate slowly, as if nothing in the world was wrong, but Emma could barely breathe. Every second felt heavier than the last. Her mind kept replaying what she saw in the drawer, the passports, the gun, the coded documents. Her hands tightened around her fork. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. "I know," she said suddenly. Daniel stopped chewing. Slowly, he lifted his eyes toward her. "Know what?" he asked calmly. Emma felt her chest tighten. Her heart was racing again. "The passports," she said quietly. Daniel's face froze. Emma continued before she lost her courage. "The different names, the gun, the strange devices, the phone call last night." The room became completely silent. Daniel slowly placed his fork down on the table. Neither of them moved for several seconds. "You searched my office?" he finally asked. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Answer the question," she said softly. Daniel leaned back in his chair and rubbed his forehead slowly. For the first time, Emma saw something she had never seen in his face before. Worry. Real worry. "I never wanted you to find out like this," he said quietly. Emma's heart dropped. "So it's true," she whispered. Daniel looked directly into her eyes. "Yes." The single word felt like a knife. Emma pushed her chair back suddenly and stood up. "I lied to me," she cried. Her voice echoed through the house. "For 8 years!" Daniel remained seated, watching her carefully. "I was protecting you," he said firmly. Emma stared at him in disbelief. "Protecting me?" she repeated. Then she slammed her hand on the table. "Protecting me from what?" she shouted. Daniel stood up slowly now. His expression had changed. He no longer looked like the calm husband she knew. He looked alert, serious, like a man used to danger. "The truth is dangerous," he said quietly. Emma shook her head, tears running down her face. "You spy on people?" she asked, horrified. Daniel remained silent. "You kill people?" she whispered. Daniel looked away. "It's not that simple," he replied. Emma felt like the floor beneath her was disappearing. "I married a stranger," she said weakly. Daniel stepped toward her. "Emma, listen to me." But Emma quickly stepped back. "No," she said sharply. For the first time since their marriage began, Emma felt afraid of him. Daniel noticed the fear in her eyes. That hurt him more than anything. "I never wanted you to be involved in this world," he said quietly. Emma wiped tears from her cheeks. "You already involved me," she replied. Daniel suddenly looked toward the window. His expression changed instantly, serious, alert, dangerous. Then he looked back at Emma. "They know about you." Emma froze completely. Her breathing stopped. "What?" she whispered. Daniel's voice became heavy. "My mission went wrong last week," he explained slowly. Emma's stomach tightened. "What mission?" she asked nervously. Daniel walked toward the window and slightly moved the curtain to check outside. "There was a leak," he said quietly. Emma stared at him. "A leak?" she repeated. Daniel nodded. "Someone gave information to the wrong people." Emma felt her chest tighten. "And?" she asked slowly. Daniel turned back toward her. "And now they believe my wife might know my secrets." Emma's heart dropped like a stone. "What does that mean?" she asked nervously. Daniel looked directly into her eyes. "It means you're in danger." Emma stepped back. "Danger from who?" she asked, trembling. Daniel hesitated for a moment. Then he answered, "From people far worse than spies." Emma felt cold fear spreading through her body. Her voice came out weak. "Why would they come after me?" Daniel walked closer to her again. "Because you're the easiest way to get to me." Emma shook her head slowly. "This can't be real," she whispered. Daniel suddenly grabbed his phone and checked something quickly. His face darkened. "What?" Emma asked nervously. Daniel didn't answer right away. He walked toward the front door and quietly locked it. Then he locked the back door. Emma's anxiety exploded. "Daniel, what is happening?" she asked panically. Daniel turned off the lights in the living room. His movements were quick and precise, like someone trained for emergencies. Then he spoke quietly. "They found us." Emma felt her knees weaken. "What?" Daniel walked toward the window again and carefully peeked outside. His eyes became sharp. "They're here." At that exact moment, crash! A loud sound exploded from outside the house. Emma screamed softly. Glass shattered somewhere in the house. Emma grabbed the table to keep from falling. "Daniel!" she cried. Daniel moved instantly. His calm husband personality was gone. Now he moved like a soldier, fast, focused, deadly. He ran to a hidden cabinet near the wall and opened it. Inside were weapons. Emma stared in disbelief. "Daniel!" Your voice shook violently. "Who are these people?" she cried. Daniel turned toward her. His face was deadly serious. "People who won't hesitate to kill." Emma's body felt frozen. Another loud noise came from the back of the house, a door being forced open. Daniel stepped in front of Emma protectively. "Stay behind me," he ordered. Emma's heart pounded wildly. Her life just hours ago had been normal. Now strangers were breaking into her house, and her husband was holding a gun. Footsteps slowly approached from the hallway, heavy, deliberate. Emma grabbed Daniel's arm tightly. "Daniel," she whispered. He looked at her briefly. "I promise I'll protect you," he said firmly. Then the hallway light suddenly flickered, and a dark shadow appeared near the broken door. Emma held her breath. The nightmare had officially begun. The shadow in the hallway moved slowly. Emma's heart pounded so hard it felt like it might explode out of her chest. She clutched Daniel's arm tightly. "Daniel?" she whispered. Daniel gently moved her behind him. "Stay behind me, no matter what happens." Emma nodded quickly, her body shaking. The broken glass on the floor crunched under someone's footsteps. One step, then another. Whoever was inside the house was not trying to hide. They wanted to be heard. Emma's throat felt dry. Then suddenly, bang! The back door burst open violently. Two masked men rushed into the hallway. Emma screamed softly. Daniel reacted instantly. "Get down!" he shouted urgently. Emma dropped to the floor behind the couch, covering her head. Gunshots exploded through the house. Bang! Bang! The sound echoed through the walls like thunder. Emma pressed her hands over her ears, her entire body shaking. Another shot fired, then another. Then silence. Heavy breathing filled the room. Emma slowly lifted her head, her vision blurred with fear and tears. The two masked attackers were lying on the floor, unmoving. Daniel stood a few feet away, holding the gun with steady hands. His chest rose and fell as he caught his breath. Emma stared at him in shock. You shot them," she whispered. Daniel slowly lowered the gun. "I had no choice," he said quietly. Emma slowly stood up, her legs weak. Her eyes moved from the attackers back to Daniel, her husband, the man she loved, but now she saw something new in him, a side she had never known, a man capable of violence, a man trained to survive. Her voice trembled. "I don't even know who you are anymore," she said softly. Daniel's expression filled with sadness. "I'm still the man who loves you," he replied gently. Emma shook her head slowly, tears falling again. "But our whole life, it was built on lies." Daniel stepped closer. "No," he said firmly. Emma looked up at him. "The missions were secrets, but my love for you was never a lie." Emma wanted to believe him, but everything had changed so fast. Sirens suddenly echoed in the distance, police sirens. Daniel looked toward the window quickly. "They must have heard the gunshots," he said quietly. Emma wiped her tears. "What happens now?" she asked weakly. Daniel looked back at the two attackers on the floor, then back at Emma. His expression was serious. "We don't have much time," he said. Emma felt overwhelmed. "My whole world just collapsed tonight," she whispered. Daniel walked toward her slowly. Then he took a deep breath. "You have a choice to make," he said. Emma looked at him nervously. "What kind of choice?" Daniel spoke carefully. "You can walk away from all of this." Emma listened silently. "You can leave this house, start a new life, forget that this world even exists." Emma's heart tightened. Daniel continued, "The agency will protect you. They'll make sure you're safe." Emma stared at him. "And you?" she asked quietly. Daniel looked away for a moment. "I'll disappear," he said. Emma felt a painful ache in her chest. "And the other choice?" she asked slowly. Daniel looked directly into her eyes. "You come with me." Emma blinked in surprise. "Come with you?" Daniel nodded. "My life will never be normal again," he explained honestly. "There will always be danger." Emma felt fear creeping into her heart again. "But if you come with me," Daniel continued, "I will never let anything happen to you." Emma stared at him. The man she loved, the man who had risked his life to protect her just minutes ago. Her mind was full of fear, but her heart was full of memories. 8 years of laughter, 8 years of love, 8 years of building a life together. Her voice trembled. "You should have trusted me with the truth," she said softly. Daniel nodded slowly. "I know," he admitted. Emma wiped the last tear from her cheek. Then she took a deep breath. Slowly, she stood up straight. Daniel watched her carefully. Emma walked toward him. Her voice was steady now. "I'm not leaving my husband," she said confidently, but emotionally. Daniel looked stunned. "Emma?" he whispered. She grabbed his hand tightly. "But from this moment forward," she said firmly, "no more lies." Daniel looked into her eyes. Then he nodded. "No more lies," he promised. The police sirens grew louder outside. Daniel glanced toward the window again. "We need to leave before they get here," he said. Emma nodded. Her life would never be normal again, but she had made her choice. Together they quickly grabbed a few things and walked toward the back door. Emma took a last look at the house they had shared, the house where her old life ended. Her voice came out softly. "I'm scared," she admitted. Daniel squeezed her hand gently. "I know," he replied, "but you're not alone." Emma nodded slowly. Then the two of them stepped into the dark night together, into a future full of danger, mystery, and truth. Because sometimes the biggest shock in life isn't discovering a secret, it's discovering the strength you never knew you had. And Emma had just learned a powerful lesson. Love is not about living a perfect life. It's about standing beside someone, even when the truth changes everything.